Transformers 1 was released in 2024 and was directed by Josh Cooley. It tells the origin story of how Optimus Prime and Megatron, who were once the best of friends, and how they became sworn enemies with one another, while also exploring how the Autobots learned how to transform and what had caused the rivalry between the Autobots and the Decepticons. When it comes to the Transformers franchise, I've never been a huge fan of it. I've seen the first three Michael Bay movies, but a very long time ago, which I remember being okay, but I remember jack shit about them really. I remember seeing Robots in Disguise, if that is the correct title. I remember that was the one on Jetix, if I'm correct. Because I know for a fact there was a Transformers cartoon on Jetix. I'm just not sure if it was that one in particular, but damn, Jetix really did like that. You really, oh my god, I really do miss Jetix. But I have seen that, and I actually used to watch the Prime show on Cartoon Network from 2011. Well, that's when it aired over here, I believe, and actually very good. I used to think it was really good, actually. The animation style of this movie actually kind of reminded me of that, which was cool. Oh, and I've seen Bumblebee, which I thought was really good. So I have a little bit of, knowledge about the franchise, and from what I've seen, it's pretty good. I'd say it's quite enjoyable. I may not be obsessed, I may not be into the franchise, but from what I've seen, not bad. And when it comes to this movie, I was curious to say the least. My good friend the Shadow Cat, link to his account will be in the description. Great guy, lovely friend. He actually really wanted to hear my thoughts on the movie. He actually requested me a while ago to review it and told me to try see it in cinemas, as seeing it in the cinema is a great experience. And I would have to agree with that. I really enjoyed the cinema experience for this movie. And so he was curious to hear my thoughts, and so I'm going to dedicate this review to him. So, I have to say, after watching Transformers 1 for the first time, I am very happy to say, coming from someone that's not a super mega fan of the brand, I have to say this movie was a blast. This has to be one of the best films of the year. Yeah, I said it. This has to be top 3 for me. This is a brilliant movie. It might be the best animated movie of the year. I need to think about that. Need to think about that. But I have to say, I was very, very impressed. I really like the story. The storyline, it's very engaging. I like how it has a lot of lore of Transformers. There's a lot of, interesting facts. And I feel it's very faithful to the brand of Transformers, especially with the animation style. I feel this is like, if someone had never watched Transformers before, I think this is like a good introduction, but I also think it's a great origin story. It's really nice seeing how Optimus Prime and Megatron started off as, best friends, and seeing how the crew is formed, and seeing all the world building and the different, the different mythology of the Autobots and the Decepticons. It's very interesting, and I was really, surprised with not just how, mature it was. There's a lot of heart in this movie, especially with the third act. There was a scene towards the climax that I don't want to spoil that actually had me on my edge of my seat. I was like, what? I can't believe they actually did that. So there's a lot of heart in the movie. The third act, the climax, is very powerful. And I also think it's a lot of fun. Much like Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves from last year, this movie is hilarious. There is some genius comedy in this movie. I laughed my ass off a lot. A lot of that is thanks to the character of B. But this movie's humour is fantastic. This has got to be one of the funniest movies of the year. Humour-wise, this movie's great. And I also just really enjoyed, the story. I was invested. I found it very compelling. I actually do have a few issues, though. While still really well done, don't get me wrong, I think the dynamic with Optimus and Megatron is very powerful. It's very well done. I wanted more. This is what I kind of said about the wolf in Puss in Boots 2. I think he's phenomenal, but I wanted more. I kind of actually do think the movie could have benefited if it was just focused on Optimus and Megatron. And honestly, I think if you didn't have the other characters such as Alita and B, I kind of think the dynamic would be, it'd be kind of more deeper. Don't get me wrong, it was great to have the other characters. They were fantastic. But in my personal opinion, I think if they were, more minor, which, if that makes sense, I feel if they just focused more on the dynamic, I just think it would have been deeper. I just feel like I wanted more out of this dynamic because it was really, really interesting. And another problem I had was the pacing. I felt the pacing at times really did drag. Thankfully, it does pick up. I just found a lot of sequences and scenes to kind of drag a lot. So I do have, one or two issues, but overall, still a really good story. And a great way to introduce newcomers to the Transformers franchise too. The animation, absolutely stunning. The character designs, absolutely fantastic. Visually, the locations looked beautiful. There's a great atmosphere, there's some really nice colours. Just overall, the visuals of the movie are just gorgeous. It's a stunning looking movie. The voice acting is great too. I did feel in the trailers, I kind of thought Scarlett Johansson's performance was a little distracting in the trailers, but in the movie itself, actually a great performance. And even with that said, everyone else did a great job. I think Chris Hemsworth did a phenomenal job as Optimus Prime. Everyone, you could tell, was having a blast voicing these characters, and I thought that was excellent. The voice acting is easily one of the best aspects of the movie. And the action, absolutely fantastic. The climax is very, very, very epic. And the characters, very well written. They have great chemistry with one another, and they bounce off each other very well. I have to say, I actually really liked Optimus Prime in this movie. I actually really liked his personality. A little reckless in the first half of the movie, but then grows in to be a much more badass hero. It's great seeing him learn more about leadership, and his character arc, it's very compelling in the movie. Megatron would have to be my favourite character in the film. Not only has he got an excellent design, but his relationship with Optimus Prime, while I wish we got more of it, I still really liked how it was written, and it was very interesting seeing him go from Optimus Prime's best friend to becoming an evil villain. Alita was really good too, a great strong female character, and I really enjoyed her dynamic with the team, and the exact same goes to B. This guy was absolutely hilarious, and he made me laugh my ass off.
I'm actually working on some nicknames. The one I'm floating right now is Badassatron, which is actually pronounced Badassatron.
And as for Sentinel Prime, oh boy, I won't spoil anything, but this character, I actually like how he was written, and the direction taken with him is very compelling in my opinion. I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to spoil it, but I do have to say this guy is very interesting, especially in the second half. And there is some other good characters too. I don't want to talk about them because I don't want to get into spoilers, but I have to say the movie really did impress me with the characters. The music of the movie was awesome. There's a really catchy end credit song which I thought was great, and the instrumental throughout the movie, especially in the movie's third act, it really helped with the action especially. So I have to say the music, very, very good music. This film has excellent soundtrack. There is a post-credit scene after the movie, which definitely stay for. It's very, very cool to see. Not going to spoil it, but it's definitely worth sitting through. I have to say, I hope it does well to get sequels, because I have to say, I really, really enjoyed this movie. Overall, while I may have some issues, Transformers 1 was really, really good. A very engaging story, gorgeous animation, very well written characters, and excellent music. This is definitely one of the best movies of the year, I think. I'm going to give Transformers 1 a very, very strong 9 out of 10. I can't believe I'm saying this. Like, this is one of the best films of the year. This is a fantastic movie. I can't believe I'm saying that. I don't quite like it as much as, say, Bad Boys 4, but still really, really good. And I might even check out some of the other properties of the franchise in the future, so that's good. I have to say, I had a blast with this movie and I highly recommend it. Stay tuned for my next review, which is going to be on The Wild Robot, which comes out in Ireland and the UK on October 18th. But my review might be coming sooner than expected, so you just gotta wait and see. I'm hoping that's a good movie. I'm quite excited for it, actually, not gonna lie. So stay tuned for that, and until then, thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you guys thought of Transformers 1 in the comments section below. Stay tuned for the next video, and until then, guys, take care, everyone, and skidoosh.